You're good now.
We're live.
Okay, yep. All right. Kevin,
All right. Thank you, Mr. Clerk. We're going to start the meeting at 6:05 with the roll call. Alderman Bilotto.
Here.
Alderman Klinker.
Here.
Alderman Alexander.
I'm here.
And Alderman Johnson.
Yep.
All right. All here. Moving on, I received one citizen comment. It's from Carol the Pay Strain, so I'm going to read it off of the text she sent me. So please excuse any grammatical errors or mispronunciations because I'm going off of what she sent. The Finance Committee has failed to discuss and take action toward meeting the needs of Blue Island community and public at large regarding advanced life support. Following the March 20th, 2020 Finance Committee meeting, serious decisions need to be made without any further delays. One, BI ambulance services have been working on becoming ALS sanction certified and getting equipment BI ambulances ALS equipped. Blue Island ambulance service is not currently ALS sanctioned / certified, and Blue Island ambulances are not ALS equipped. Barriers seem to be funding for A, EMTs who need ALS training, B, BI ambulances need ALS equipment. Number two, Meadows Golf Course and Rec Center are closed. There's no reason to order any inventory. Three, the Finance Committee needs to consider furloughs for both the Meadows and Rec Center without any further delay. Four, eliminate all non-essential work. Five, eliminate landscaping contract. Six, roadway construction, Duncan parking lot. What does the mitigation plan for any roadways, IDOT, Robinson Engineering, and construction look like, including permitting? What best practices will be closely monitored and by whom? How will roadway grading be monitored? What street sweeping measures will be implemented? How will the entire process be verified and by whom? 7, upgrade technology, City of Blue Island cybersecurity and checklist. 8, where is BI Finance Committee at with Blue Island's Housing Assistance Grant Program? Does one exist, or does a Blue Island Housing Assistance Grant Program still need to be established? All right, that's it for the public comment. Moving on, we have new business. We have payroll for 4/17/2020. Are there any questions for the payroll for this this pay period? It's in the amount of $375,944.72. Are there any questions?
Chairman, is this the payroll, for this payroll coming?
This is for the payroll that they had on Friday, which was I think it was 4/17.
Okay. I got a question for a couple of things. Ackerman. Is Ackerman Acosta that's supposed to be getting some information on us for these Tahoes?
Hey Dexter, we're doing payroll right now, not accounts payable.
Okay. What about okay. All right.
That's next. We'll come to that next. So do you have any questions on payroll?
No, sir.
No, sir. Okay. Anyone else? Any questions? All right. Is there a motion to approve the payroll for the amount I said earlier?
I'll make a motion, Bilotto.
Motion by Alderman Bilotto. Is there a second?
Second. Alexander.
Alderman Allen. Thank you, Alderman. All right. There's a motion and a second. All in favor of approving payroll for 4/17 signify by saying aye.
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 No.
No. All right. And any opposed? Alderman Johnson is no. So there's 4 ayes and 1 no. All right. The motion is hereby declared carried. Moving on now, accounts payable. The accounts payable is in the amount of $560,441.41. I know Alderman Johnson, do you want to repeat your question?
Yeah, I can. It was about Ackerman. I was wondering,
okay.
Was that a custom? And I had actually a second one. I'm sorry, Chairman, because I was trying to get settled here with Alderman Slattery. Are we talking about paying her? for this pay period?
So I know Alderman Slattery resigned effective immediately last Friday, the 17th. So I don't think she'll be receiving a paycheck going forward. But I assume she got this last one on the 17th. Your question about Ackerman, that's correct. That's Sergio Acosta. That's the Tahoe Special Investigator.
So that's not Ackerman then, right?
No, that is Ackerman. That's Ackerman's the law firm he works for.
Okay. Why are they doing something else for us outside of those Tahoes?
I only see the one Ackerman bill on the accounts payable.
Right. And that's what I'm asking is, are they working on something else outside of the Tahoes? Because they ain't giving us anything on the Tahoes, no information unless you heard something.
I have. I'll put something together of what I've received, and I'll share it with everyone probably tomorrow once I get everything put together.
Okay, so I'm not voting to pay them, bro, because they haven't given us anything.
All right, that's fine. Are there any other questions?
Alderman Donahue, this is the first bill from that law firm? I believe it's the first bill, right?
I know we've received a couple of them, but I don't know if this is the first one that's actually been on the accounts payable.
Okay.
I think we've received
I
two
can-
so far.
I can double check that for you right now, Alderman Bilotto. I actually think this is my second time seeing them because I remember asking the AP clerk what was that for when I saw it in the last check run, and that's when she was telling me it was for a special investigation. I actually have Smart Fusion open. If you wanted me to take a look really quick, I can let you know how many invoices we received from them.
Yeah, Topeka, go ahead, Fred. And I think this is the second or third one we've received for them. Are there any other questions while she looks through this?
I just went through, I'm good with everything else. I didn't see anything at least.
Yeah. Give me a second. I'm looking it up for you all, okay?
Okay.
Okay, let's see. Vendor activity. Okay, so it looks like they have sent us three invoices. The one on this check run for $2,100. Then the one on the last check run that I mentioned, that one was for another $2,100. And then they sent us one in February for $3,900. So it's been a total of $8,296.50 that they've invoiced us for, and we've paid $6,000, and then we have this one for $2,000 that's outstanding.
All right,
So we
thank you.
paying these people and they haven't produced jack. Is that what we?
No,
that's-
they
is that
have.
what-
They just Dexter, I'm going to share it with
Okay,
you
where's it
tomorrow.
at, Kevin? Was it? Did they produce something on that 3,900? The one she just said, the first one. Did they produce something date to date?
Sir. Alderman, they've not produced a report yet. They're only required to produce one report. He provided an update to me late last week when I asked him for one, and I have yet to share it with the group. I told you 5 minutes ago, if you give me some time, I could put it together and I'll have it to you tomorrow.
I understand it perfectly well what you said. I'm just saying we paying people because is this the third payment, right? And you said you got something last week. Why are we paying these people for producing anything? I'm talking about the past payments, not this one right now.
Dexter, they're doing an investigation. They have to invest. They have to interview people. They have to talk to people, and then they're providing one report when they're done.
I understand, but they hadn't produced anything, and we're paying them. We almost what they have.
Alderman, you vote no on the accounts payable every time, anyways, and I don't expect that's going to change.
Okay,
now.
but I'm going to continue to do what I do, but I'm going to question things when it comes up. That's
good. Go ahead and question.
Just like the golf course,
I'm providing you
like
an
the golf,
answer.
we buying stuff for the golf course and the rec center, and they ain't gonna even be open. That's ridiculous. We're not gonna have money soon.
Dexter, can you
Alderman,
point? Can you point in the accounts payable? What's in the golf course that we're buying? Let's pull it right now. Or tell me what it is.
I'm just saying. Period. I'm not.
You said, Alderman.
that,
You said show me what we're buying for the rec center and the golf course, and we'll pull it. You're the one who mentioned it. Tell me what it is.
Kevin? There is stuff in there for the golf course. It's towards the beginning. I don't have a printed out copy in front of me. It's golf balls it's on page 1, I believe.
If I may state, Alderman, there are a number of things I was actually going to bring to the committee's attention for golf purchases. I actually had it highlighted here. Let me just find it right quick. But it was definitely for golf, so. If you give me 1 second, I have it.
Looks like it's AccuNet Company.
Thank you. Yes, that's the vendor. Thank you. That's who I was looking for, AccuNet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they invoiced us. It's $7,809, and it's for a number of things. So I believe the way their process goes is that the golf manager puts in a request, like he has to let them know what items he intends to purchase, and then they stock it. And then once the items are actually in stock, then he calls them and lets them know that he's ready to actually purchase the item. So we don't have the goods yet, but they are invoicing us for it because they're anticipating him making the order and they're anticipating shipping it. But if it's not open, then I was questioning even if we should make this purchase because it's like $7,800.
All right, so let's pull that. Alderman Johnson, what else would you like pulled since you mentioned the golf course and the rec center? Please go ahead and list off everything you'd like pulled for those two items, Alderman.
Well, Kevin, this is the thing. I've been involved with several different cities, right? And people are running out of money. They're not going to give us much more money, if any. So my only thing is that if we can cut things that kind of make sense, because the golf course and the rec center isn't going to be open. And I just mentioned those things. That was it.
And Alderman, I agree fully with you. And since this is what you're suggesting, I just want to go through the list because I don't have it in front of me of all the golf course and rec centers. And since you mentioned it, I just assumed you had it in front of you.
The only thing I had was the golf course that was mentioned just now. I didn't have anything for the rec, but I was just putting that out as now. But, once we open up and we need the things, and everything goes back to pretty much normal, yeah, of course, order it. But why should we be, taking a bill of almost $8,000 when we don't know when the thing's going to be open? You know what I'm saying? And I've been searching for gloves and hand disinfectants and masks for our city for different spots. And, man, people are running out of money that has way more money than we do, so. I'm just trying to make cuts that make sense. That's all. And that's why I talked about the situation with the Alderman Slattery. I'm not sure if that's true or not, whether she lied about being in a residence or not, but I'm just saying if we could cut finances where we can make cuts, let's do that.
Agreed, Alderman, and I think we're all open to pulling this item, the $7,809 item, and I was just making sure there's nothing else that you wanted pulled in regards to the golf course or the rec center.
Okay, I don't actually have it in front of me as well, Kevin. Is Doran's on here? Doran's Landscaping?
Let me look.
Not on accounts payable, it's on the agenda.
Okay, because my thing is, I'm sorry.
Can we just say on the accounts pay? Can we just say on the accounts payable, please?
I didn't have it in front of me, Kevin. That's why I just asked the question. Was it there?
Alderman Johnson, this is Jim Klinker. I'm scrolling through the accounts payable. There's nothing else on there for either golf course or rec center. I mean, there's nothing else. I just scrolled through the entire thing. So I think what you're looking for is to hold up on the golf course stuff. And then, yeah, when we get to the Dorans thing, we can deal with that. But as far as accounts payable, I think we're looking at holding up golf course stuff and then that payment to Ackerman.
Thank you, Alderman. I appreciate it.
And I have one more question for the committee regarding Alderman Slattery. So we're saying that, because you know payroll is done 2 weeks in the rear. So are we saying that for her check that she is due coming May 1st, that we're not going to give her that? Because she was done effective Friday, so that pay period was for 2 weeks prior, you know, and so I just want to make sure that I have the committee's guidance on what we are actually going to do as far as her compensation is concerned.
So I saw Carrie's on the line. Carrie, we would have to pay her just for
you
last
pay her
week?
you pay her through the effective date of her resignation.
Okay, fine, perfect.
Does that answer everybody's question on that one?
That's it. Thank you, Carrie.
Okay, yes.
All right. Is there any other questions on the accounts payable?
Yes, Alderman Donahue, this is Alderman Alexander. For Doty and Sons Concrete Products, I see they have an invoice on here for, the description says pots along Western. I'm guessing it's saying potholes. But it's for
No, this is the flower pots that we ordered. They're going to be here next week for Western Avenue.
Okay, and that would be
This came out of the business district account as well.
okay.
Any other questions? And anything else anyone want pulled besides the golf balls to, I think there was that Q company for $7,800 and $7,809.74.
You need a motion?
Yeah, please.
Alderman Bilotto makes a motion.
Alderman Bilotto, is there a second?
Klinker, I'll second it.
Yes, okay, 1 second. Let me just write this down so I have the right SUNet company. All right. Thank you. All right, Alderman Bilotto made a motion to approve. Alderman Klinker second. The new amount. 1 second. The calculator now. The new amount is. So the new amount is $552,631.67. Alderman Bilotto made a motion. Alderman Klinker second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed say nay.
No.
All right, we have 4 ayes, 1 nay. The ayes have it. The motion's carried. Thank you, everyone, for that. Moving on, we are at now item C, Doran's Landscape to maintain 3 of the city's properties. This is an item that was of the Community Development Committee. This is a business district expense, and I'll let Alderman Bilotto explain more since this came from his committee and Howard provided the document. If you'd want to go ahead, Alderman Bilotto.
All right, Howard did a good job doing in the document there. Our committee put an RFP out months and months and months ago. We've been sitting on this. It was originally for 13 different locations, but pending the situation with what's going on, we decided to cut it down to 3 out of the 13. And this also would be covering the watering of the new flower pots and flowers that we're ordering with the flower pots along Western Avenue. So that's pretty much it. And if you read Howard's memo, he goes into great detail of exactly what it is. But Dexter, Annette, and myself sat on this committee. We voted out of our committee with a huge cutback from the original, at least for this year, to experiment to see how it goes.
All right, are there any other questions about this item?
My only
Yeah.
question, this is Topeka. My only question is where do we anticipate paying this from?
This is the streetscaping. It's a
It's a
restricted
streetscape
fund.
again. Okay, thank you.
Streetscape, yeah, it's a restricted fund. It can only be used for Western Avenue.
Okay. I remember
And the
that one. I
total-
remember you talking to me about that one.
This is Klinker, and the total is 31,570 for all three.
I'm not sure the total. I do know Alderman Klinker, the total includes a huge upfront cost to replace everything that's there, and the ongoing maintenance is minuscule compared to that dollar amount. That sounds right, though. That's a big.
Yeah, I'm on
that's
page 3 of
replacement.
Howard's thing here, and it says the total amount of the annual maintenance expenses for all three sites is 11,310, while the total
Yeah.
renovation expenses for all three sites, which is only a single time cost, is 20,260. So the grand total for landscape maintenance and renovation for fiscal year 2019 would be 31,570. That sound
Yep,
right?
I'm reading it here.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's coming out of the street fund, the business district,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Yes.
All right, any other questions?
No, and just to clarify, just for the committee that's not on my committee, the fund generally gets about 600,000 to 800,000 a year in sales tax. It's a restricted fund for Western Avenue. Just in case, Topeka, if you didn't know that, just giving you background, we passed it a few years ago. There's quite a few funds in there because we haven't really touched it because we're trying to hold off to do the big project like sidewalks and lighting all at one time. But small things like these, we keep the businesses, they've been asking for this for years, for the flower pots, for the maintaining some of these areas that are already there. They just haven't been really maintained since the 80s. These were put in the 80s, these flowering areas, and they haven't really been maintained up to the standard that should be. So the businesses know we collect 600, 700,000 a year, but we really don't spend it. So doing a few things like these flower pots and fixing up at least 3 of these locations per the pandemic that's going on right now shows that at least we're doing something with the tax dollars, because otherwise it just sits in that account. It cannot be used for personnel. It cannot be used for streets outside of Western Avenue. It cannot be used for equipment. It can only be used for concrete items and things to beautify Western Avenue.
Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it.
Okay,
got a
any other questions?
Yeah, I do. This is Alderman Johnson.
Go ahead, Alderman.
I wanted to direct it to Alderman Bilotto. Alderman Bilotto, is it possible for them to be able to buy masks or anything of that nature? Because you mentioned some things, but I was just wondering because I went to a few stores. I'm sorry?
I didn't hear you. Can you repeat that part again?
Sure. I was wondering, is it possible to use some of those finances for like masks, disinfectants, and gloves? Because I went to a few stores.
I know as the ordinance states right now, and I talked to Howard Kapari about this also. It's a 1% sales tax, and as the ordinance is written, it can only be used for concrete items for Western Avenue. It can't be used for stuff like that. He said he was going to look into it further, but I highly doubt it unless we really have to change how we pass that whole revenue stream, because there was assurances built into the ordinance that we can't use it for anything but beautification of Western Avenue. But I did start the groundwork. I did send an email out. Howard's looking into it about the other thing we discussed the other day.
Okay. I was just wondering, Alderman Bilotto, because I went to a couple of towns and did some things. I had to go to the auto parts store, and they said Monday they're not going to serve people who comes in the door without masks. So I'm just trying to put it out there, trying to think ahead. That's it.
I believe it, Alderman. And just from our committee meeting, remember, me, you, and Annette are on there. We made cutbacks from the original RFP because of what's going on, just because we've got to be conservative where we can. So
that's correct.
All right, anything else? All right, is there a motion to approve item number C?
I'll make a motion. Alderman Bilotto.
Is there a second to approve this item?
I'll second it. Thank you. Actually, Annette got it.
Oh, Alderman Alexander with the second. All right, Motion by Alderman Bilotto, second by Alderman Alexander. All in favor of approving the Dorrance Landscape to maintain 3 of the city's properties, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, say nay. All right. Unanimous ayes. The ayes have it. Motion's carried. Moving on is item D, Rec Center Baseball Field Maintenance Contract with Sports Fields, Inc. This is for maintenance of the baseball diamond at the Rec Center. Are there any questions?
Yes, this is Johnson again. And it was about, expenditures that we could curb. The only thing
Sure.
that's down there, because the the park district takes care of all the grass. There's an infield made of, it looks like gravel. I'm not even sure what it is, to be honest with you. But if we could pass on this, because there's nobody gonna be able to play on it.
That's fine. Is there would you like to make a motion to table this, Alderman?
Yeah, I would.
All right. Is there a second to table this until maybe another meeting or two down the road?
I'll second it.
All right. Motion to table made by Alderman Johnson.
Can I just say one thing to the committee? This is Topeka again in relation to
Sure.
this. So I was looking at this expense, and the line item that we probably would be willing to pay this out of doesn't have enough money to cover it. It's about $700 short. So if we did pay this bill, we would have to figure out where we're going to get other funds for, because that line item doesn't have enough money to cover it. And the other 2 line items that we could potentially pay it out of, they're already over budget. One of them is over budget by $300, and the other one is over by $1,400.
I'm Alderman Donahue, if I can comment.
Go ahead,
Sure.
Alderman.
There's a TIF that we started. So one of the TIFs, you can talk to Mark Miller, and we created
Okay.
it to maintain the rec center. I believe that's where this probably wouldn't. All these things in the past we've taken out of that TIF. I'm sure
Okay.
this would have came out of there too, even though it's not a lot of amount, but
Okay.
just wanted to clarify. There's a TIF just for the rec center that was passed.
Okay.
It's a brand new TIF. Just check with Mark Miller going forward. If we go back and up and running, that's probably where it would come out of.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right. There's a motion to table by Alderman Johnson, second by Alderman Bilotto. All in favor of tabling signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, say nay. All right. Ayes have it unanimously, so that will be recorded as such. Any Alderman comments or concerns? I have one. I know Alderman Klinker asked earlier for just an updated revenue expense report. So Topeka, could you provide that for our next meeting next week, please?
Yes, I can send everybody an updated expense report. I'm still working on getting the revenues caught up. That's the other side that I'm working on now. But I have the expenses. I can send that all to you guys. I don't know how you all would rather see it. Would you like to see it as one, or would you like to see it broken down by department? What's your preference?
Can you break it down by department, please?
Yeah, I agree. Alderman,
Okay, sure.
I'd say by department, just like how we do the budget and appropriation, just so we
Okay.
know where we stand. Yeah.
Sure, that's no problem.
All right. Any other comments, concerns? No. All right. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Alderman Bilotto makes a motion.
Alderman Bilotto,
Klinker
is there a
seconds.
second? Alderman Klinker.
Kevin, you should announce the next meeting.
Oh, sure. Sorry. Our next meeting is April 27th, next Monday at 6 p.m. Same bad time, same bad channel here on Zoom. So we'll see everyone next Monday, the 27th at 6 p.m. For the next Finance Committee meeting. So, all right. Motion by Alderman Bilotto, second by Alderman Klinker. All in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. We are adjourned at 6:34 p.m. Thanks, everyone. Have a good night and continue to stay safe and healthy. Thank you.
All right, guys. See you later.
Good night.